Lion, thanks for joining in, buddy. I appreciate it.
There's a bunch of plugs tuning in, eh?
The plugs? Yeah, Lion Loop channel, the
There's
plug.
a bunch of plugs tuning in.
No, we're not asking Spenny about NASA. Okay, cool. Let's let's get this. I know, yo, Lion, the 360's hella dope, eh?
Yeah,
all right, I got to, my friends on the 360, I'm going to have to kind of cut away from this thing because we actually got an episode to start and we are recording right now. So we're going to start, we're going to start the episode. What do you think? All right. Hey, welcome, guys. Cameron Barkey here. We're on the ThoughtXchange, another installment, episode 13.
Is it?
Eh?
We're on episode 13. This is crazy. Episode 13, my friends.
What's going on, guys?
We got Steve Van Diest here, co-host, and we have Nigel Ottley, the Canadian bully plug. So, today, I know it sounds kind of funny.
You're gonna have to explain.
Yeah, we're gonna have to explain that. But today we're talking about Pitbulls, Bulldogs, and the whole breeding process.
American bullies.
American bullies. So
Canadian bullies? Are we calling them Canadian bullies if they're born here?
I mean,
is that where it comes from? Canadian bullies?
In registration, it's American bullies. I mean, if I have it here, you could call it Canadian bullies, but on paper.
Cameron, before we
American
get started,
bullies.
can you double check that thing, man? Make sure you screwed the top off. Did you screw that in or no? Pull it out.
It's in.
Is it screwed all the way down? Because you're staticking up like a motherfucker. Pull it up. Yeah, you didn't screw it in. Screw it in, bro. Yeah, now screw it in. Push it down and screw it in.
We're pushing it.
Cam's always messed some up, eh?
We're good.
Yeah, there you go. Now,
We're good now?
I think so. You getting static still? Or no?
We're good.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
You want to
good?
restart this thing, man? Because like,
No.
you want
No.
to just keep going with your
No,
shitty
this is
little-
this is uncut.
This
is uncut,
You just
uncensored.
Fucked everything up.
Uncensored?
I didn't fuck anything
Okay,
up. This is the most
perfect.
uncensored
Fuck
thing
me,
ever.
man. Like this
That's
guy
it.
every time. I'm worried now that your mic's not even plugged
Me,
in.
I'm straight. I'm
I
always
like,
good.
see, this is what I'm talking about, man.
Well,
You
freaking twist
I handle my business,
You
man. I
let, you
handle
let
my
the guy
business.
you let the guy take care of this stuff, and everything gets all messed
I
up.
gotta
You'll
take
be
care
okay,
of my
man.
own stuff, Mine would have been
Yeah,
static
man.
if I let
That's
Cam
the
take care
second
of
time
it.
he's messed up
Oh,
those mics,
shut up,
man.
man. Get out of
Jeez.
here.
Forgetting
I didn't record
batteries.
Kevin the whole time. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go, all right? Mr. didn't bring the camera.
I did record it.
Like Kermit, I'll just hear just sip,
I'm just with the tea. All right, Canadian bullies, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Canadian bullies.
Yeah, all right. Okay, Nigel, serious.
Yeah.
What got you started? So you're breeding, what exactly are
We're
you breeding?
breeding American bullies.
American bullies.
So,
So what is an American bully?
It's a Pitbull Terrier mixed with American Staffordshire Terrier.
American which
what?
one?
Staffordshire Terrier.
Staffordshire?
Staffy, American
A
Staffy.
Staffy.
Yeah, and then there's some Bulldog in the lineage as well.
Okay. And what is the temperament of those type of dogs, or what got you started in actually breeding these? So you're breeding them and then selling them? And is
Yeah.
there like a big business in this?
There is. So, I mean, originally it wasn't even a business. Walking down the street, saw a guy with a Pitbull. Didn't know what a Pitbull was. Asked him what it was.
When was this?
This was about 7 years ago, when I first started liking the breed.
You didn't know what a Pitbull was 7 years ago?
I knew what it was, but I never seen one like up front besides, TV and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So, I wasn't too sure. So, what kind of dog is that? He said, it's a Pitbull.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I'm going to get me one of those one day. So, a few years later.
They're powerful.
They're powerful,
What do you have, Stevie?
Me?
Yeah, you got a
Mine's
Bulldog
mine's
or
a
a
Boston
Pitbull?
Terrier.
Boston Terrier.
Mine's
okay.
just a little miniature, like they look like boxers, but like a puppy version
Yours
of a
is
boxer.
a little bit hyper.
He's hyper. He's high energy dog. Like you have to bag run him in order to like. See, every dog has a different temperament,
Of
right?
course,
Like so,
of
my
course.
dog's like high energy. So what I have to do is I have to tire him out.
Yeah.
So I usually sprint him. So I just get like a ball, like taught him how to like play fetch, and I just sprint him and for like about 5-10 minutes, and he's so bag tired that
Yeah.
he just sleeps the rest of the day.
And that's the difference between a Pitbull Terrier and a bully. The Pitbull, like other terriers,
Yeah.
are hyper,
Yeah,
and a bully is more relaxed, more calm, more chill.
yeah.
So a bully, it's bigger head, bigger shoulder. It's like a Pitbull is more like a Donovan Bailey,
Yeah.
and a bully is like a Mark Henry.
Okay.
You guys don't know, you know who
Mark Henry,
is.
WWF.
You know, big
the
big
world's
build.
strongest man
It's
alive.
a
Strongest man
bodybuilder
alive.
and it's an athlete. You know,
Yeah.
so those are the two different. So like you said, yours a Pitbull, it has a terrier in it, so you know you got to tire it out to get all that energy out.
Yeah.
And a bully, you can just have a bully chilling here, and it's it adjusts to your living. So.
Yeah, I find that those bigger dogs are a lot calmer because they don't feel like they need to
Show off? Or?
well expended much energy, right?
Yeah.
Too like they don't need to show off. They don't need to they don't need to show themselves. Like I've seen even those what's the name of that Don Cherry's dog? It's another terrier, but it's like a blue terrier kind of thing.
It has like the long
big
nose,
long
right?
nose.
He's got a
Bull
spot on
terrier,
him, doesn't
it's
he?
a bull terrier.
It's a bull terrier, and
Yeah.
those dogs are pretty. Like if you, I remember my dog when he came across the bull terrier, scared shitless, and all the dog had to do was "Whoa," like this, like small movement. I'm like, because they're just all jacked up, full of muscle too, and they got the big long snouts. But those guys don't move around a lot either.
No.
Like they're just big dogs. So like,
A lot of the terriers, they need a lot of energy to be wasted, right? Where a bully, it's like a Great Dane, where a Great Dane you can have in an apartment, and it can just chill all day. It doesn't need that much exercise. And
yeah, the Great Dane was bred to sit next to the king next to his throne. Like there's just a big dog.
Just a big dog
just a
that
big
just,
dog,
like,
yeah.
just sits there, right?
They don't like to walk around. They
just a
just sit.
chill dog.
Yeah, Afghans are really chill too.
Yeah.
Afghans another big dog that's really chill. Bull Mastiffs
Yeah.
are big, massive, chill dogs.
Newfoundlanders.
The Bull Mastiff is a freaking massive dog, man. Like those, can you imagine? Have you ever like heard of like a Pitbull Bull Mastiff mix?
I haven't.
Like that would be.
I'm sure there
wild.
might be some lineage of a bull mastiff in there. I mean, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
In the bully.
So you getting back to the story. So you so 6-7 years ago you saw a Pitbull.
Yeah.
And you were like, yo, that dog's sick. Like, what is that
Yeah.
thing? And you went and talked to the owner, and they're like, yo, this is a Pitbull.
Yeah, and I said, I'm getting one of those.
I'm getting you one of those. So you have a dog named Nova.
Yeah.
What is Nova? Is Nova?
She's 3/4 bully
Yeah.
and a quarter Pitbull.
In a quarter Pitbull.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's more of the bullier's size.
The bullier size.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she just had a litter, right?
She had a litter, yeah.
Yeah.
She had a litter with a UKC American Bully.
What's UKC?
UKC is the recognition of the Kennel Club, United Kennel Club.
Oh, so this is like
it's
a
a paper.
designation then.
Exactly. So that means.
So is that where you get your studs from? Like she does all your breeding for you, and you get a stud from someone?
She was just like the family dog, right? And out of some friends, they're like, "Are you ever gonna breed her?" Because her temperament's good. Everybody liked her. She's calm. You've seen her. She's not aggressive.
She's very loving. She just wants to hug you.
Yeah, exactly. So like, we want one like her. You're gonna breed her. So I did my research. I'm like, okay, let me find somebody that's calm too. I did my research. I found a guy, Dozer's Kennels, and when I met his bully was nice and calm too. So I tried it out, and took off from there.
You're like a matchmaker.
What's the I know this is really weird. I don't know how any of this works. What's the process of breeding? Is this artificial insemination, or is this like you just put them in a thing and like hopefully they go at it?
You can do both. You can bring your dog. Depends where you're getting the stud from, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's in the States or in Canada or Alberta.
And the stud's the male?
The stud's the male, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
so
just for a guest. I don't. Yeah. So
you
stud's
get the
male.
stud, and you can bring it. You bring your. They say bitch. You can bring your bitch to the stud, and he does his thing, right?
Yeah.
They feel each other out, and then he just gets at it, and he starts pumping her.
Oh, jeez! Wow.
It's not censored, right? So
This is uncensored. Yeah,
uncensored.
I guess the bitch is
starts
getting
pumping
pumped
her.
by the stud. Yeah, that's
and
life.
he goes at it,
Wow.
and then
He just went there.
he pumps her.
Wow, that's a little wild.
Then he's stuck to her for about 30 minutes because it swells up, and then they're stuck together, and then after about
the dogs are stuck together.
The dogs are stuck together.
Do they lie down or
once
is he just walking around? I've never seen this before.
They can walk around or they can just stay there, right? And some of them move around, some of them just stand there. But
like you walk around mounted?
Yeah. We'll show you some pictures later, but
I don't know if I want to see that.
I don't know if I want to see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems like some wrong pornography.
They're stuck together for about 15 to 30 minutes or until it's done swelling, then they run free.
Is there like barbs in it in like the thing?
I don't know.
Why does it do that? Do you know?
I don't know exactly why, but once it's in and he's done, it's swollen up in there.
Is that all dogs?
That's all dogs, yeah. It's all
women
dogs.
are like that too.
Yeah, it's all dogs.
Women are like that. Like when you like, they'll squeeze you, right?
Yeah.
So like that's what happens. That's like the nature. That's what's going on. Is the female organs trying to suck and pull everything out. So what happens is probably the male gets clamped because the female is like holding on to it, right? That's the contraction from the orgasm.
That's exactly it.
Boom, and it just contracts and it holds, and then they have to both wait till they calm down.
And if you don't do that, then you can take it to a vet, and the vet will
artificially do it.
Exactly, yeah. So it all depends where you get it from.
What costs more money, barring what your stud is? Like, is it like more money to get them artificial, or is it more money for them to do it naturally?
Then again, that depends where you get it from, right? Like for me, if I'm going to get it within Edmonton, then I'll just go there, right? But if I'm going outside of Canada or to the States or something, then I'll have them send it to me, and I'll go to the vet and pay the vet instead of paying for flight for me and the dog to go over there. Then you got to get your hotel and all that, right?
Yeah.
So.
Which is expensive. Traveling with dogs is they got to get sometimes certain shots and and this, that, whatever. You got to pay for them too extra.
Yeah, you got to pay for them, right? So if you're getting it, in the States, then you might as well get it shipped here. If you're getting it within Canada, depending on where you're getting it, then you can make the trip.
And you can get that sort of package shipped.
Yeah.
It's a weird package to get shipped. Like, don't they ask questions?
They do it from vet to vet, so they'll.
Oh, it's not vet. It's not vet to your house.
You can get it to your house, but.
Yeah, well,
but ideally you need a vet anyway.
You need a vet anyways, right? So you get it sent to the vet, and then you bring your dog, and the vet will, make sure.
Could you eventually learn how to do that on your own, to skip the middleman process?
You probably could. You probably could do it yourself. Yeah,
because I would imagine a vet would charge quite a bit of money.
Yeah, you could probably definitely do it yourself.
I'd charge like $400 or $500 just for a
visit.
Yeah,
if you want to skip the middleman, but I mean, you don't also want to waste it, right? Like.
Yeah, you don't want to screw that up. I'm sure they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly, because you're paying for that semen, so you don't want to waste that and not do it right.
Is there a certain time of the month that the female dog has to have this happen, or does it matter?
There's not a
cycle, or
there's not a for me. I've never seen a designated cycle like she's gonna be on her in 4 months, 5 months, just like whenever it comes. Then I know, right? So you can plan ahead, like for an estimated time, and just get that ready, and then once you have it, just go to the vet.
How long? I've never had a pregnant dog before. How long do they stay pregnant for?
They're roughly 63 days.
They're pregnant for 63 days?
Yeah. That's roughly 63, 65, 66.
That's not very long, man.
No, it's not. It's not long.
That's weird. Like, that's really strange.
Yeah, it's not long at all.
The dog grows fast.
Well,
2.5 months, multiply that by 7. It's about 14 months.
What do you mean by 7?
Well, lifespan of a dog is 7 times faster than human life, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, if you put it that way, yeah, definitely, yeah, it's 7 times faster.
So.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
We've had that discussion before, I think, in terms of relativity.
Yeah, everything's relative.
Sometimes smaller things have shorter lifespans, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but to them, they don't know the difference.
They don't know the difference. For us, like that 2.5 months is quick.
Like a month, like an ant, for instance, would survive a season, but for them,
that's their whole life.
That season's their whole life.
Yeah. So like that whole life is quite a bit, and they're working pretty hard their whole life.
That's crazy.
That's a weird. That's a really weird freaking way to put it. I never even thought about that in my process, thinking. So 7 years ago, we find you like Pitbulls.
Yeah.
You talk to the guy. You get Nova.
Before Nova, you gotta. I wasn't living on my own, so brought it to my mom.
Yeah.
It's like, hell no, you're not having a Pitbull. They're bad. This, that, and the third.
Cool, Okay, let's
most people are scared of Pitbulls.
Let's touch on that. So what do you mean they're bad? They're this. They're that.
They have a bad rep, Shout out to Mike Vick, you bastard, giving them the bad rep. With the dog fighting.
Yeah, Mike Vick did that.
Yeah.
You can even talk about dog fighting.
Yeah,
that's wild.
That's it too, right? Like that's where.
That's like animal abuse.
And it wasn't even Mike Vick per se, but that's where it got the most headline exposure, right? Is Mike Vick's fighting dogs, and people are now thinking the Pitbulls are aggressive.
Any dog can be in those dog fights. Like
any dog can be.
You put two dogs in a cage together, and one of them's not coming out alive.
That's it,
Yeah, but you don't want a golden retriever versus a pit bull.
They don't survive.
No, exactly.
That's why the pit bulls end up fighting.
Pit bull versus pit bull because they're little muscles.
When the guy basically brings his pit bull and he knows that his pit bull's going to beat up the other pit bull and then bring home a paycheck, right?
Work
exactly.
That's why they end up doing that.
You starve the dog, and then that's your reward. You're going to get this if you win the fight, and if you don't win the fight,
you get in there and they're both all pissed off and mad.
Yeah.
and all.
So they got a bad rep from that, right? And that was the main thing. Everybody's scared of Pitbull, the looks, you know, but the ears stand up. They're scared of the whole look.
That's a thing, though. Don't they clip the ears to make them pointed like that? Is that a thing at birth? They chop the ears to
not
snip
everyone
them out,
does it, but a lot of people, for show dogs, they do it. You know, when they actually bring them to show, it's a look like 80 to 90% of the dogs at the show, they got the... It just makes a cleaner look. It makes the head look bigger, which what a lot of people like.
They like a big head.
They like the big head.
on the Pitbull. It makes them look mean.
That's what it sets apart from the bully from the Pitbull, is that the bully has a bigger block head, and the Pitbull is a little smaller, right?
A little smaller head.
Yeah, and
they like do they both have lockjaw?
I mean, depends where you're getting the lockjaw from. Is that they don't necessarily have lockjaw. Like, people do say that, but doing a lot of research, a lot of people say they don't have lockjaw. That, like, German Shepherd has lockjaw more than they do. So, I mean, I don't know if that's where they get it from.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a topic that a lot of people have different opinions on.
What is a lockjaw for our viewership?
For me,
even for myself a little bit. Is that when they clamp on and they're just
when they clamp on and like they won't let go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could do whatever you want and they're not gonna let go. You could
kick the shit out of them.
Yeah,
like if a dog's clamped onto a human, like even like.
Well, what happens is the muscle contracts in the mouth and it
gets
fires,
tense.
And it gets tense, and as long as the dog is tense, that muscle will not relax, which means that the jaw will not let go.
And they have a lot of pressure per square inch.
They have a lot. So what happens is they're like,
break bones
and
with
then
it.
like they're holding it, and then you're hitting them,
and it's making them mad.
It's making them more tense,
and then they can't undo the jaw.
So are they doing it on purpose, or like they're literally stuck?
It's not on purpose. It definitely is stuck.
So they bite and then get stuck, and then like, I'm just saying, like, let's say there's a human being, another human being, dog attacks, like, let's say your wife or something, like whatever. Like, I'm just saying in general. And like, you as the husband are like, holy shit, my wife's getting beat up by this dog, and you go and freaking beat the shit out of it.
They're still gonna hold on.
It's gonna be just stuck there, right?
They gotta get.
What's the saying that you're supposed to stick your finger in his bum?
There's a saying? Yeah, you're supposed to
stick your finger in his ass to get him to let go.
They also say you gotta like spray water in the mouth or face or whatever, but it's like what you said. They'll hold on to it, and you can beat it as much as you want. It's not gonna let go until it's calm and relaxed.
I'm not sure if I'd want that thing to let go, because like I'd be like, it's gonna fuck you up. Like, imagine if you shoved a finger up its ass and it finally lets go. It would turn around and
come at you,
come and kill you, man. Like,
your wife's go, but now
my wife's gone. Sorry, buddy.
now you got your arm taken off.
No, your arm's getting taken off. Holy shit, that's a wild.
Yeah, the whole game dog is what they call it. Dog fighting is a whole different level. Different level.
Yeah,
that's where it is, where they get that bad rep and everybody's afraid of them because of that, and then the look of the ears and the aggressiveness, right?
They just look mean.
They look mean, but they're just they're
not
a cuddly dog. They're not.
I've never like. It's the thing is, they got to realize that all the dogs are exactly the same. Like, you can.
I don't know about that. I don't agree.
Like, you said this, but like their temperaments, you're right. Each one has different personalities. Each breed has a specific type of personalities. Like, for instance, a border collie likes to like.
They're herder dogs.
The herder
dogs.
working
they like
dogs.
To herd and work dogs, and then you got like golden retrievers are kind of like little.
They're a retriever dog.
Yeah,
like literally, you kill like you're hunting and. But a basset hound, they're really good at smelling.
Basset hounds got a good sense of smell.
And that's what they use to track people with, right?
What did they use to? So what was the pit bull even originally used for? Like,
they were. If you go really back, there was a myth that they were nanny dogs.
A what?
Nanny dogs.
What's a nanny
dog? So with your little kid, it would actually like protect your kid, work with your kid.
Like
you could leave your dog. Yeah, like a guard dog. Yeah, they say a nanny dog.
A pit bull.
Yeah, way back.
Like German Shepherds were guard dogs. Like that's what they're bred for, and then like they're guard.
They're military dogs and
military
police
dogs now.
Yeah, I mean they even got Pitbulls now, and bullies as the canines for police.
Yeah, and then Doberman Rottweilers and Doberman Pinschers are both like guard dogs.
Yeah, they were guard dogs. Yeah,
those are guard dogs. Like you don't want to get caught up in front of a Doberman Pinscher. Like, whoa, that's the dogs just growling at you.
They could kill you.
Oh yeah, they will. Like they're there. They're territorial, and that's what they're there for.
You could have a Yorkshire Terrier that's more aggressive than Pitbull or a bully.
That's the thing. Like
those
usually,
small yappy dogs.
It's gonna bite your ankle. And that's it. Like
but what people don't realize. Okay, so
Yeah, no, exactly.
It will though. It will bite you. You could walk into we know someone who has a little dog. You walk into the house and the dog's nipping at your foot.
This is what happens.
I'd rather have that than a Pitbull nipping at me.
So this is what happens. The reason why that happens is because the little dog gets away with things that the big dog would not get away with.
Of course.
So if a big dog got on the couch, right away you'd be like, get off the couch, and you would force the dog and you would take dominance over the dog because the dog's bigger.
Yeah.
So you don't let the dog get away with a lot of shit. So the dog gets trained a little bit better, more strict or something. More strictly, right?
Yeah.
Little dog shows up on there, nobody says anything.
They think it's cute.
They think it's cute.
They let it do whatever.
And they pick the dog up. So
it gets comfortable, right?
A couple things that, like, for instance, when a dog barks, right? Especially little dogs, when the little dog is barking and you pick up the dog and you hold it, what you're doing is you're reinforcing.
You're training it to bark.
You're training it to bark to be picked up.
Yep.
So what happens is that the dog thinks it's doing something good.
Yep.
And it's guarding you.
Yep.
And then you're giving it affection.
You're praising it for doing a good job necessarily.
Yeah.
So if it comes and nips at your feet and you go and pet it after,
yeah,
it's going to think anytime someone comes in.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But like with a big dog, when a big dog barks, good, and you're like, okay, that's enough. Calm down.
Yeah.
And you
because it actually legit scares people, though.
Yeah, so you calm the dog down. So you act differently with a big dog than you would with a little dog.
Right.
But the training is exactly the same.
It's the exact same, yeah.
So the thing is, if a little dog barks like that, you have to put it down and say no and calm it down the same way you would do with a big dog. But people don't. The way they do it is they do the same thing with their kids too. Kids start crying and you pick them up. So what you're doing is you're reinforcing that behavior. So like what I used to do, because I have a little dog, right?
Yeah.
I know that. So I used to pin him all the time. The thing is my little dog is like, he's a little muscle.
Yeah.
He's all muscle, like, right? So like you try pinning him and he's like, he'll fight you. Like,
yeah.
So you have to win that
You have to
fight.
assert dominance over him?
Oh yeah. So, but I started when he was a puppy though. Like, so there's a couple things that you need to do, like when you're training dogs. You need to, one, take away territory.
Yeah.
Like, do you do a lot of the training you're, like with the Pitbulls right now?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because like, I would imagine like if you don't know how to train a dog, you know, if you don't know these basics of like taking away territory, establishing dominance, actually teaching them through repetition.
Yeah.
If you don't understand this and you have a pit bull and he becomes
it's a lot of research,
alpha in the house, you're in trouble.
It's a lot of research to do. But like you're saying, it's a training, right? So you gotta train the dog right. So I mean, people say, oh, you got a pit bull, it's aggressive. No. If I train the dog to be aggressive, it'll be aggressive.
Yeah.
If I train it to be obedient, it's going to be obedient. It all falls on the breeder or the person buying the dog, how they want their dog to be.
Yeah.
So these pit bulls get a bad rep because of the dog fighters.
Of the world.
Yeah, the dog fighters who are training them to fight dogs, but little that they know is that these bullies are actually the nicest, cuddly dogs you could have. Like,
yeah,
I would pick that over any dog by far, just their temperament.
So let's does this ever happen? Let's say you have a fighter female dog, and a fighter male dog. I don't know what they used to fight, like in dog fighting. I have no idea. And they make offspring. Do those offspring have the tendencies of those parents?
They have the temperament of those parents. Yeah,
they're gonna have the temperament of those parents.
Definitely.
The same thing is like you're
just like humans.
Breeder, yeah, humans. Like you'll pick up like their
you'll pick up their traits,
and stuff like that. But their personality is not necessarily directed to their genome.
Doing the same thing.
They'll have it in them.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're training them right, they're not gonna like take that exactly right.
So what about stories where you have dogs snapping? Like sometimes, like you hear about Pitbull, and not even Pitbull, but like just dog takes out child of the house. Like that happens sometimes.
It depends what the child is doing. Like.
Yeah,
like I've seen a lot.
Yeah,
I see a lot where a dog is laying down, and the child is sitting on the dog, and the dog goes and snaps back. Right, like it might be hurting the dog. The dog can't speak, right?
Yeah.
So you as the owner, you got to let your child know like there's certain things you can't do. Right? You could be hurting the dog, and the dog can't speak. So how it's speaking is turning around exactly to let you know like it's hurting. You can't do that, right?
Yeah.
The dog doesn't have a voice, so.
Yeah. But a nip from a pit bull to a baby is like...
Well,
like
I mean...
Sharks do that. They take a bite out of us to see if we're meat, but like that rips us in half. Right?
And it all depends on your dog, right? Like mine my kid will sometimes sit and jump on the dog, and the dog just laying there like looking at you like, what are you doing? You know, like you can't be doing this,
man,
right?
Come grab your kid.
Exactly. It's looking at you like, get this kid off of me.
You probably will have more problems if you had like a puppy and a kid.
Yeah, if you had a puppy, it's because the puppy's not fully trained yet,
and
right?
he doesn't understand, and
exactly,
he barely understands himself. So you're more likely to have a problem with the dog and the baby because they're at the same age level. So then they're basically,
they both don't know.
So they're fighting for dominance amongst themselves.
Exactly.
So then what happens is if you have a puppy and a baby, then they grow up and the kid becomes a toddler, they're more likely that dog, when he becomes 3 or 4, will attack that toddler if he fucks up, because that happens is they're both in the same, they're at the same level of hierarchy in the pack.
Right.
But what happens is if the dog was 4 or 5 and already established his position in the pack, and then you brought a baby in, he's not going to mess with the baby because the baby is no threat to him.
Yeah, it's no threat. Exactly.
Right?
It's all about the pack and your position in the pack.
It's a pack mentality, right? So like when people have problems like that, we're like, oh, the dog snapped on the child. Most likely they got a kid and then they bought a puppy at the same time. So the two of them are growing up together.
They're growing as the pack. It all is a pack. Like
part of the pack.
You as the owner, you're the pack leader, right?
Yeah.
So the dog's going to respect you, you know, like it would respect the hierarchy in the pack. And as long as you go down and down and down, you know, if you have 4 or 5 dogs, depending on where you bought the dog for, usually the puppy is going to learn the traits of the next dog to know how to act and whatnot because it's following that dog because that dog's in the higher pack.
Yeah.
So my puppy now will look how my other dog's doing, and it'll adapt to what that's doing to know what's right and what's not right.
Do they talk to each other?
It's like tribe mentality. What happens is like the dogs put each other in their places, right?
Yeah.
So a dog might go around and start doing stuff, and then if the dog crosses another dog's territory, that dog will let them know, right? Like literally will like what they do is they don't necessarily they'll come and attack, and if the dog gets scared, the first thing a dog does is it goes belly up. So you'll see this. So the dog goes and starts barking, and they'll attack, and they'll go to attack like the core, and if the dog doesn't want to fight back, he'll go belly up, and the other dog won't attack him.
He'll be like, it's kind of like chess. You just knock your king over.
Yeah,
like
you just knocked him over, and he just like basically said, I'm sorry, I won't mess with you again. And then that guy
knows his place.
Right? So that's why like sometimes if you have problematic dogs, it's good to put them in a pack of trained animals. So like what ends up sometimes happening is like you'll start to notice too, like if you have a problematic dog that has social problems, the other dogs will actually like turn their back to that dog, and they'll oust that dog. So in order for that dog to get into the pack, he has to learn how to behave.
Get his shit together.
Yeah. He's got to get his shit together, or else he actually just gets like, he's on the outskirts of the pack, and they don't let him in, right? Like
they'll physically turn their backs to the dog?
It's a pack mentality. Caesar Milan will tell you it's all about the pack mentality.
Yeah, it's a power move.
They got to have their place in the pack, and they want to feel like they're doing good and they're earning their keep in the pack, right?
So when it comes to breeding these, is there a different dollar amount with what type of dog you've bred in certain pack? Like, I don't know. I know there's an alpha, there's beta. There's other ones in the middle, correct?
I mean, for breeding it, so for bullies, they range anywhere between 1,500 to, say, 10,000, but you get some that are 20, 30, 40,000.
Like outliers?
It depends on the lineage.
Yeah. The lineage,
and
the bloodline and more purity.
The bloodline, exactly, right? So there's the higher bloodline you're going to pay for more, right?
But it's harder to get though because you're dealing with breeding like show dogs, right?
Yeah.
Like when you get in those higher levels, there's like show dogs, so they all have to have their papers.
They have to have their papers.
When you're mixing breeds, no papers, no.
That's what I'm saying. So like I said, the UKC or the ABKC, American Bully Kennel Club, you got your papers and you'll breed. Say you have an XL bully, an extra large bully. You have that, and you're going to look for another bully that's XL, and you're going to look at the bloodline to see what the temperament is, and you're going to get your two together, and you have your papers, and then you're going to know that your puppies coming up are going to have that temperament because you're breeding your temperament, which is calm, to another one that's also calm, and at that price, depend on, what you're charging. It could be anywhere between 1,500
per pup.
Per pup to 10,000.
Yeah. And what?
That'd be crazy. You like spend $1,500 for one dog that you're gonna breed, and you might, or even more.
Or more, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to get the stud.
You have to pay the stud
and then you have
a
to pay
fee.
the stud fee, which is probably gonna cost you an arm. So the more expensive, the nicer the stud, the more expensive the seed will be, and then all of a sudden that breed right there, just to inseminate them would be expensive.
Of course, the stud can be anywhere between $1,500 to maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, depends on what you're going to get, what pick. It could even be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, depend on what you're getting.
Who sets these prices? It seems kind of like arbitrary. Like who says this is worth that?
The breeder does.
Yeah.
The breeder, you know your worth, right? Just like, if you're buying a Benz, who sets the price of 100K Benz, right?
I guess the market does.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I don't know.
It's a demand. It's a demand.
So the guy
and
says, well, why is your dog worth $4,000?
Why is your dog worth $4,000?
I got the papers here. He was these are all.
This is it. He's a grand champ of this dog.
I see.
His grandfather's champion of this and that, and this is why my dogs are this price.
Would you ever put any of your own pups in a show or raise one like that?
For sure.
So can you raise studs? Like, would you ever raise a stud?
Yeah,
and
I
then
would.
sell semen?
Yeah, definitely. Further down the line.
You have to show those dogs though, eh? Like that's what the most.
I would definitely do it. Yeah, like the one I just got now is papered.
Yeah.
And she was quite a bit. And when I breed her to whatever stud I find, yeah, depending on the stud, I mean, those puppies could easily be $2,500, $3,000 each, yeah.
And how many in a litter generally?
I'd say roughly 9 to 12, give or take.
So you're paying $3,000 for a pup.
Yeah.
A girl, female, bitch.
Yeah.
And then you can get 10 puppies out of that you could probably sell for.
That you could probably sell for anywhere between $15,000 to $3,000.
$15,000 to $3,000.
Yeah.
Depending on what stud you got.
Yeah, I mean, depend on the stud. I mean, it also depends on the picks too, right? So you can have 9 pups, and you could say the first pick of the litter is $5,000.
And then you got runts and the whole thing.
Say the second pick is $35,000. The third to 6 is say $2,000. And the 6 to 12 is $1,500, right? Like all pick of the litters, right?
I remember when I took my pick, I took the biggest one in the litter, like right. And then there's a couple of them like look runty, and you're like, I don't want the runty one because he's gonna be sick.
Sometimes the runts they get bigger than.
Sometimes they do, but like
it's kind of like that's crazy. This is really cool.
But you look at the dog, you look at the litter, and you'll be like, oh, this dog like looks like he could be a sickly dog.
Yeah.
And you don't want a sickly dog because that could be hella expensive.
Yeah.
Like when you're like
paying for fees in the vet and needles and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's really freaking cool, man.
But I mean, it's not even about the money. It's more, getting awareness that these dogs aren't like what people portray them to be, Like I was telling you my story, my mom was like, no, Pitbulls are bad. I'm not, you're not going to get one. Cool. I get one when I move out.
Yeah.
Then I got one. I brought it around her house. She's like, get that dog out. It's a bad dog. I'm like, no, look at this dog. It's calm. My aunt, she's very opinionated. She's like, you leave these Pitbulls around, these bullies around your kids. These bullies are going to bite your kids. They're going to do this. I'm like, no, like you got to train these dogs right. These bullies sleep with my kids. They're good. I would trust these bullies better than I would trust half of these people, daycares outside of here to look after my kids. Like, it's not like that. And after a while, 2-3 months, kept bringing it around. They're like, okay, this dog's actually, better than I thought it would be. Like, the breed's actually not that bad. I'm like, it's never been about the breed. It's about the people behind the breed. The people training these dogs, what they're training them for, how they're training them.
Where do they come from?
Where do they come? And it comes back to the bloodline too. Like, do they have a hyper dog, or do they have a chiller, calmer dog?
And the other thing with dogs too is they usually take on the temperament of the owner. Like dog, it was so funny.
Yeah, the companionship. They watch how the owner is.
A dog is a reflection of yourself. This is what they are.
Yeah.
You and Jake look the same.
No, we don't look the same.
Well, not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like you guys.
But
like,
it's funny though too. Like for instance, like Jake had my temperament for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
And then now Jake lives with my dad, you know. Like,
he's taking on your dad?
And now I'm like going seeing him, and it's like,
Jake, what the hell?
I'm like, Dad, what'd you do to my dog? You know, like, what's wrong with him? You know, like his temperament changed, like his personality changed because it's the same thing what we do. Like I hang around with this guy all the time, and so, like I start to find that my temperament starts to turn into like his temperament.
It adapts you. Like if you're a couch potato, the dog's gonna be a couch potato. You know, if you're an active person, the dog's gonna want to be active. You know, because it's doing what you're doing. Yeah. If you got a crazy schedule and
although if you get a wiener dog and you're running all the time, that might be a problem.
That's a problem. Yeah, it doesn't work. That stuff doesn't happen.
At that point, no, you're not leaving the house.
You need to get the right dog.
Yeah, you need to get the right dog. That's it. You know, and these bullies are companionship dogs.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you do to actually sell these dogs? Like, how do you even get them sold? Like, how does someone even know?
Word of mouth, social media. Social media is heavy, you know.
Yeah. Like, I'm looking for a Pitbull.
There's a big following in the bully community, I mean. And if you're about the bully, then you know where to find it. You know who you're going to look for. You know who's the top kennels that you want to get for. Who's a good up-and-coming kennel that
but are you selling to kennels, though? Like, that's good for you to buy a dog, but, like...
Right.
But I guess at that point, like the higher up on the hierarchy, you're selling to other breeders at that point.
Right, but at that one point, I wasn't a breeder, right? Yeah. So I did my research and I said, okay, I want to buy mine from this person. You know, they have a good following of dogs. So a person who would be in my position, they would be doing the same, doing the research, making sure the dog you're getting is that right bully.
What research is this? And like, is there like a forum? Like, is this like, this seems kind of like very business to business, like.
I mean, just like anywhere on social media, you know, you can hashtag American bullies. And then, you know, in the hashtags, you'll look at a dog and be like, oh, I like that. And if you click on it, it might be that breeder who posted or someone. And then you just, hey.
Reach out to them?
Exactly.
Or if someone bought a nice dog and said, where'd you get your dog from?
Yeah. So 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, before Instagram even happened, how would people be doing this?
I Googled, I put in American bullies. And then there was a site, Hoobly.
I don't know if anybody did anything before the internet.
It popped up. I don't know about before that.
I don't
know about before the internet.
I'm just thinking about like that. Like, how did anyone do it? Like the yellow pages?
Yeah,
like
I don't know about that one.
It would have had to have been.
Yeah, at that point, they're probably just looking. They're probably just chilling on the stoop and seeing someone with a pit bully and going, hey, where'd you get that from? You know,
that's the thing. Like, because like first you have to figure out. Like, I know for myself, like I was like, okay, what kind of dog do I want? Yeah. And you do research on dogs, and you're like, okay, I like the Boston Terrier because he's a little dog. I can take him around, but he doesn't look like a little pansy ass dog. He's actually got muscle behind him, and he's like, I like this dog, right? So I look for it, and then you got to find the breeder, and then you're like, man, where do I find this dog?
Yeah, like, where do you find breeders?
You try to like look for it. You look for it.
Just Google. Google was my best friend. You know, like anything you need to know, like how to properly train it, or you know, what are good ways to train it, how to find it. You just put in.
Do you have any like specific books at all, or any specific resources that you could tell the audience? Like, hey, look, check this book out. This was
the Bully Bible is one that you can get.
The Bully Bible.
Yeah.
Is there Bibles for
Cesar Millan's probably?
Cesar Millan, like there's a few other.
Who is dog trainer? Like, what's his whole thing?
He's a dog whisperer.
He's a dog whisperer. He's like one of the best dog whisperers. Like, and you learn from it. Like, I had dogs growing up, but I never had my own dog. Like, I never like trained my dog from the beginning. So like, I took on the Cesar Millan stuff, and I'm just like, and like there's certain tricks and things that he does that are just like, man, this guy is like, he's like a dog psychologist.
Yeah, he likes the Pitbulls too.
He has a Pitbull, man.
Yeah, and he had one that passed away.
Yeah, his Pitbull was a girl Pitbull that she used to run she used to take care of the rescue farm. So like when he was dealing with dogs, because that's really what he does. That was his job. Yeah. He would go in and to troubled dogs.
I have no idea who
he started off as a dog walker.
Yeah.
And then
I've heard the name. I didn't know this is what this guy did.
Yeah.
So he did troubled dogs. So like if you had a problematic dog, you would call him.
Is this a TV show? Was this on TV?
It was on TV, but he has a facility. That's his job. If your dog is an aggressive dog, just always barks at the door, jumps on people when it comes in, he'd come in and
whisper it and get it all
and clear up your dog.
I've seen that, but that's Cesar Millan.
But like most of the time, most of his stuff that he was doing was funny too, because he would take control of the dog and then train the owners.
He would train the owner. That's he wasn't there to train the dog per se. He was there to educate the owner on how to train the dog.
Exactly. The dogs all respond exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same way. Like I could take a dog and I could take control of the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know how dogs' temperament and how to work with the dog, right? It's the owners that don't know how to.
He would have the owner show him what's going on with the dog, and then he would take the dog, and at that point the dog would listen to him after a few times, give it back to the owner and say, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to be the pack leader to let your dog know that you're in control.
There were sometimes he would deal with dogs that had psychological problems because of the shit that happened to them when they were little. So like I've seen times where like a dog wouldn't go on like tiled floor.
Because something that happened.
Because when he was little, he wiped out on a tile floor, and he just became super scared of the tile floor, so he would never go on tile floor.
Yeah.
And they'd have problems because they have a big dog, and they try to get them through a place with tiles, and like the dog it'd freeze up.
Freeze right up. So you'd have to drag him or something. He'd start whining.
It was interesting. I remember this one episode. What he did is he took the dog and he got him into like a run, like ran him in a circle and got him into trot, and then like literally like trotted him into a tiled floor. And literally got him on the middle of the floor where he was like, all of a sudden he was in it.
Mm-hmm. What did the dog do?
Well, the reason why he puts him in it, he's like, they have to go through that fear.
Yeah.
So what happens is he puts him in it, and all of a sudden the dog's there, and he just like, let him deal with it. Let him figure it out.
What did he do?
The dog just like goes.
Did he get scared or what?
Oh yeah, petrified, but like freezes because like.
He's like, shit, what the
I'm in it, like I can't walk, you know? Like, so the dog then starts to like be in it, and then all of a sudden,
hey, it's not this bad.
Yeah, that's what it goes through. It's like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, and then he slowly starts to walk. He takes a couple steps.
That's crazy.
And then he starts to work through it, and he gets through it. Same thing with like the doorbell. What would happen is like dogs were barking with the doorbell.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the dog's barking on the doorbell. So one person would ring the doorbell, and as soon as the dog would go up, he's like, no, and he would check him. So you're checking the dog every time, like the dog, like ring the doorbell and then like, nope, no. Until you get the dog to a point where like every time you ring the doorbell, he figured it out. He's not allowed to.
Not allowed to bark, yeah.
Not allowed to bark.
Or run to the door.
Yeah, and freak out or jump on people, right?
It's all repetitive, good training, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. I never.
Consistency.
Yeah. Well, human beings, we do that too. Like what happens to us as children affects like later down the road.
Yeah.
Things like that. I'm sure there's humans out there that can't even walk on tile.
Yeah.
Some weird things that happen.
Oh yeah, they're phobia for sure.
But it's the same thing though. Like it's all about the neural pathways in your brain. It's all about repetition. That's how we learn.
Mm-hmm. Dogs do the same thing.
How you teach the dog, how you teach children is through repetition. It's like through repetition. And like repetition and correction.
Consistency.
And repetition and correction, repetition and correction.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we change our own paradigms too. Like once you figure out whatever you're doing that's wrong, you have to check yourself every time you do it wrong and to correct that poor behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. So like Tony Robbins is like the Caesar Milan of human beings.
Tony Robbins,
Kind of, eh?
I used to tell this girl like her kids, I'm just like, yeah, you gotta treat them like the dog. I'm like, they don't like that though. They don't like to say like their kids are like dogs, but you can technically train them the same way.
For sure.
Like it's very similar. Like, hey, little Timmy, don't pee there. We got to take you to the potty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Hey, Sparky, you can't shit in the living room.
We got to take you outside.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the same process. It's the same thing.
And then you praise them. When they do good, you praise them. Just like if Timmy went to the potty, you go and give him a chocolate, right? Yeah. If the dog goes outside when it's supposed to, here's a treat, right?
Your treat.
Exactly,
right?
But
if you treat them for poor behavior, you're reinforcing poor behavior.
Humans do that all the time with their kids.
Man,
you can see them when they're older, a bunch of crybaby adults.
Crying, and they're like, oh, shit, crying. Give it, here, have some ice cream, make them happy.
Some people with the temper tantrums, and when they don't get their way.
People throwing temper tantrums as full adults. That's because when they were babies, their parents like.
Yeah. When they're babies, they get babied, and then
the same thing.
And when they get older, that's it.
That's exactly the exact same process. But people don't understand that. Like you cannot reinforce bad behavior.
That's it.
If you reinforce bad behavior, it becomes, I do bad, I get good stuff.
Yep.
I treat people poorly, I get good things.
Yep.
You know, like. That's what ends up happening.
That's it.
It's a cause and effect.
That's it.
That's really freaking cool. Yeah. And it doesn't matter really what the dog is.
It doesn't matter. It's how you train it.
It's how you train it, just like human beings.
The consistency,
Wow, that's consistent training.
Yeah, so it's the same process. So, people say, oh, it came from a bad seed. It's more so the environment than it is the seed. Because what happens is if you have, let's say, for instance, a kid who was born from a father who's an alcoholic and mother's, a drug dealer or whatever, that kid's going to most likely be effed up because it's in a weird fucking environment.
Well, you have certain things where, like, if the mom's drinking while pregnant, that you get fetal alcohol and all sorts of learning disorders and stuff.
That messes up your brain, right? Like, that messes them up completely. But like if you're like a normal kid or a normal dog, and then grow up in that environment, and you grow up in an environment, same thing with a dog. If you have a dog who's a normal dog, but it grows up in an environment where it has to fight to survive,
that's it.
It becomes a fucking
fighter. It becomes a problem in a fighter.
That's it. Bully can be a nice dog, but if you raise it to fight or you raise it to do whatever, it's going to do what it's being raised to do, right?
That's wild. You see a lot of, there's a lot of, I want to say suspect type of individuals that have pit bulls and bullies as their pets.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Like,
that makes me nervous because the thing is like, I'm just like, yo, man, this guy is suspect. If that dog's picking up his personality, I don't know, man. Like, that dog, I wouldn't trust that dog.
Right. They used to say it was a drug dealer dog per se,
right?
They used to say it was a drug dealer dog, right? Like they would have those dogs too because it would protect their area, how they would train it, right?
Yeah.
But then again, it comes back to how they train it.
That's true.
That dog just had a look, and people were scared of that look. So now they're using that look and training it to a certain extent, and now they got the full package. They got the look and the aggressiveness, right?
Well, let's say there's two rival gangs, and the one gang shows up with a bunch of pit bulls.
Yeah.
The other rival gang's going to be like, okay, yeah, maybe we should just pay this guy's money.
100%. Seriously.
No, actually, though.
They actually claimed that it was a drug dealer dog.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
that's wild.
It was an underdog. Nobody liked it, so now they got a dog that nobody likes. They're in a business that nobody likes, so it played the part per se, right? But that's
because its physical stature and how it looks scares the shit out of people.
Yeah, it scares people, exactly.
Yeah, and it gets people to do their bidding.
Yeah, but I mean the look and the ear crop was not really to scare people. It was just a nicer, cleaner look, right?
For the show. What's a bully's regular ear? Are they floppy or
they're floppy? Yeah, they're floppy like any other dog ear.
When they clip the ears, do they do this under anesthesia, or is this just when they're babies?
No. They do it for a certain age. So most vets will do it between 10 and 12 weeks, or 8 and 14 weeks, or under or around a certain pound, like 2 pounds or 3 pounds. Yeah. They'll do it. Anything after that, they won't do it.
No.
It all depends on the vet, but.
Is this like a full-on surgery? Like the dog goes under?
It goes under and they clip it, and then they have the dog there for, I believe, 4 hours. And they monitor it exactly, and then take it home, and you got to do all the cleaning after to make sure that everything goes good after that.
Like with the dressings and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, that's wild, man.
It's a process. Yeah,
that is a whole process.
I mean, and they want show dogs. They want the nice clean looks. So you got to pay to play the part, right?
Mm-hmm. So are you planning on getting any dogs in any shows? Or is that later down the road?
That's later down the road. I mean, there's not much shows around Edmonton.
No.
But, there is in Toronto and, New York and stuff like that. So later down the road, when I get more established, I'll take a few dogs and make a trip to Toronto or New York.
And put them in shows.
Yeah, put them in shows. Cool,
yeah.
Man. I will make a trip there myself personally just to look.
Learn how to walk a handler.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to walk them.
Sometimes you're not even the handler, like they use.
You can pay someone to do it who's actually experienced that. Then you gotta make them stand properly. Their head has to be a certain angle. Their body, it's people spend a couple of years making sure their dog is show ready, yeah, 100%. You're not gonna just take your dog there and
all willy-nilly like
exactly.
That.
You gotta prepare.
Your dog running around, running around causing havoc on everybody.
Everyone would probably be pissed.
You gotta prepare for that.
Out of here. He's ruining the whole.
He's ruining the
show. And like any show, they got weight classes, right? So your dog, depending on what size your dog is, it's in a certain weight class. So.
And there's whole specs, what is his hair like? What's the sheen on his hair like? How short is it? How's this? What does this look like?
Yeah.
There's some dude who just
the size, stature,
what his nails look like.
Yeah.
100%. Properly clipped.
That's
the position of his legs and whatnot.
They do that with horses. Yeah, horses. That's a big business.
I haven't been to one, but that's my next thing is to go and actually check one out, and then
a horse show. There's
dog show.
Oh, dog show.
And then further down the road, then I'll I'll get mine in one.
I think they have them at the Expo Center, maybe once a year, I think. Well, I've been to one.
They do have the Pet Expo.
Yeah, they have the dog shows, but it's not a bully show. There's different, bullies have their own dog shows.
Yeah, because they got the dog show. I've been to one, I think, Expo Center.
They do, I've seen that one.
Runs up like a rope. And
this is nothing like it.
These ones are just walking in a circle almost.
This one they're walking in a circle. They're placing, they're actually, you're actually holding your dog and it's standing there. And
there's a bunch of judges just looking at it.
Yeah, they come by and they evaluate your dog.
That's wild. That's a whole freaking big industry.
Yeah, it's a different world, the bully world.
So that's what you're gonna full on keep pursuing.
Yeah, it's a good hobby. It keeps you out of trouble. It's a good
like
hobby.
You're ever in trouble. Anyway.
It's a good hobby, It's a good hobby that keeps studying the craft and get a good program down, and eventually I'll be one of the top kennels. It's always a plan.
Yeah. Well, where can our people find you at?
Instagram, you can get me at Canadian Bully Plug. Facebook, Canadian Bully Plug.
Yeah. Plug.
Plug. I'm the plug.
He's the plug.
I'm plugging it.
I'm plugging it.
Yeah.
You need a bully, come see me. If I don't got one you want, I'll plug you on to somebody else.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Canadian Bully Plug.
Canadian Bully Plug. That's it.
Yeah, that's dope. What do you think, Steve Andes?
Well, I'm thinking, that's good. Books. Just maybe we can get a book or something like that someone should probably reach out to.
I mean, if they need questions and they want to get a bully and they don't know if it's the right dog for them, they can always hit me up and I can let them know if it is right for them. But I mean, bullies are right for anybody. They're right for anybody. It's a good companion dog. As long as you're getting the dog from the right breeder who's not just breeding it to make a quick buck, who's actually studying the lineage and making sure that you have a quality dog, good temperament, good quality, then you'll be okay with a bully. I mean, anybody, a grandma can have a bully, a 80-pound bully that she can be with a 10-year-old kid can have a bully. Anyone can have a bully. Just train it right, get the right, from the right breed, and you'll be good.
That's awesome.
Perfect. All right.
Well, I think we can wrap that one up at that.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thanks for joining us.
No, I appreciate it, boys.
That's great, man. Yeah. So, Canadian Bullies Plug. Canadian Bully Plug.
Canadian Bully Plug.
Instagram and Facebook.
And Facebook.
Can you spell bully? Is that B-U-L-L-Y?
B-U-L-L-Y. Canadian. You guys know how to spell Canadian if you're from Canada, right?
Yeah.
And bully, B-U-L-L-Y, and plug, P-L-U-G.
Awesome. That's
Beautiful.
Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram.
Nigel Ottley, Canadian Bully Plug.
Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah. And for you guys on the 360, I'm gonna cut it off here in a couple minutes. So thanks for joining. Thank you guys for joining. See you guys next week.
See you next week.
Peace out, guys.
Okay, fuck this shit.